reading book on pausing and money. Written by me, Eric Wadell. First draft, November 2025. Chapter 3. Universal Skills of Pausing. Thus far in the book, we have reached an initial pausing definition of what money is. And we have purposefully confused ourselves with some common sayings and famous quotes in order to later on tidy up our means of exchange. Next, in this chapter, we will look at some more skills that we can develop out of pausing. And we will see how these relate to our pausing criteria of money. These further skills are universal in that they are applicable in every and any situation. They are like the physical logics behind pausing, similar to how Newton formulated his laws of nature, and they can be used as ever-present qualities within the concept of pausing. The universal skills are body, motion, time, patterns, and creativity. And we will look at them in this specific order, respectively. Body. Body is how we know our inside from our outside. You have a body, and I have a body. And your body is half your world, and my body is half my world. But my body is not half your world. Our body is our bottom line and our intuitive sense of self. When we ask a child who they are, they will point to their chest. And when we ask an old person the same question, they will do the same. This is a spontaneous and casual truth we all carry with us all throughout our lives. If we pause, we will notice that we have a sense of inside of and outside of our body. We identify other people and things as either being inside or outside of us. So we pause and observe the dynamics between our own body and other bodies. This is our first universal skill of pausing, body. Then how does this relate to money? We found as our 4 criteria of money that it is quantified, named, physically bound, and finally framed in words and symbols. Okay, can we think of instances when our body is quantified, named, physically bound, and finally framed in words and symbols? Yes, easily. We instantly think of many examples when our body is treated in the same manner as money is treated. It would seem that right from our intuitive get-go, there is a confusing overlap between our body and our invention of money. Universal skill body is how we know our inside from our outside. And whenever our body in itself is either quantified, named, physically bound, or framed in words or symbols, we might be prone to confuse money in our outside as really being in our inside, or the other way around. Motion. Motion is how we see change as it is unfolding. Everything in life is in constant motion. It never stops, not fully. Even the rocks are slowly on the move, only not noticeable to us. And we people are also always moving from here to there, and inside of us there is constant shifts and turns going on as well. Even when we pause, are we in motion? Perhaps slower, but still in motion. Our second universal skill of pausing, motion, is that we have some ability to see these shifts and turns. We pause and observe the speed and direction of people and things. Some people are accelerating and others are slowing down. Some people are moving away from each other and others are moving towards each other. And still some people are moving coupled together in parallel. We pause and see these trajectories. Is our motion ever treated similarly as money? Is our motion ever quantified, named, physically bound, and framed in words or symbols? Again, yes, and often so. Additionally, we often see how money is treated as either being fast or slow. And we often talk about making or spending money fast or slow. Like making a quick buck or investing slowly. Say that we are going fast in one direction, making and spending a lot of money, and someone else is going as fast as us, but in the opposite direction. The difference between us will eventually reach a breaking point, and we will have a hard time pausing together. Could it perhaps be that we pause the best with the people who make and spend money in parallel with our own speed and direction. Time. Time is how we appreciate the effort behind things. A body that is in constant motion, in time, grows into something. In the beginning, it looks like something abstract or like nothing. But in time, we can discern something special about it. We can appreciate people and things when they have invested cumulative effort in themselves. As you have read this book on pausing and money up to this point, you have invested effort in your learning and in yourself. And universal skill time is how both you and I can appreciate that effort. We pause and observe what bodies in motion grow into. This is how we recognize time in a pausing kind of way. Time is money. It's a figure of speech so common that it is regarded as an undebated truth. We often think about our time as being the flip side of money. Is it always, though? Do we always quantify, name, physically bind, or frame our time in words or symbols? No, we do not. There are times when we do not quantify our time, and it feels ethereal. There are times when we do not name our time, and we find ourselves consumed in perfect focus about something interesting. There are times when we do not physically bind our time, and we find new ways because of it. There are times when we do not frame our time in words or symbols, and we find ourselves feeling a bit more free. Yes, time can be money, but time can be so much more. Time is not only money. Patterns. Patterns is how we continue what was and pass on what will be. When looking at the nerves of a leaf or at the veins in our body or at the trails running through a forest, we are seeing similar versions of the same natural pattern. This can at first feel dizzying, but will in time become a sense of belonging for us. We are continuing what was and passing on what will be, and we have a clear part to play, if only we pause and breathe with it for a moment. It would seem that changes in life come in a wave-like pattern, and it would seem that people group together in a spot-like pattern. We also see examples of the same social patterns repeating themselves on all levels of society, like Shakespeare liked to allude to in his plays. Universal skill patterns is how we find our personal place in these multiple simultaneous dynamics. We pause and observe our natural patterns of growth. As we learn to recognize some patterns, we will become a more engaged person, a more committed person. Life will feel more relevant and urgent to us. Money follows patterns as well, and how we relate to money does too. Patterns are bigger than all of us, but also smaller. They transcend and connect our specific perspectives. Could it be that money is quantified, named, physically bound, and finally framed in a way that grows in natural patterns as well? Or do you feel like money is separate from our natural patterns of growth? Creativity. Creativity is how we choose to combine our outside and inside. This is our fifth and last universal skill, and it is also the one that connects the previous four. We started with body, which is how we know our outside from our inside. And then we found through motion that we are always going somewhere, and that we in time grow into something. Then we saw that we are connected to naturally occurring patterns which give us relevance and meaning in life. Finally, universal skill creativity is how we choose to combine all of this. So we pause and observe what we have and what to do with it. And then finally, do it. Like pause, observe, decide, do. Our body is half our world. Every time we meet with someone or something, could be another person or an apple or a mountain, our body will always be half of the meeting. The other party will be the other half. This is interesting because when it comes to our creativity, an apple and a mountain are both the same half in relation to us. It does not matter that the apple is much smaller than the mountain. It is still the other half to our inside. When we meet with money, then the money at hand is the other half to us. And it does not matter if we meet with 10 units of money or with 1,000,000. It is still the same half in relation to us. This is a source of great confusion for us because it can make us unsure as to the dimensions of money. At every decision, we must make up our mind if the given quantity, name, physical binding and framing feel like the symmetrical half to ourselves that we are looking for. And when it does not, we feel bad about it. We pause and observe the money in front of us. What do we really have here? Does it feel off in any way, or just right? Then we make our choice and act upon it. This is our universal skill, creativity. Now we are done with the fundamentals of pausing and the universal skills that we can develop from it. Next up, we will look at 5 typical situations that follow us all throughout life and that are worth getting to know from a pausing perspective.